Hello everyone, I am Tacit, and today I'm going to be going over the new Gems of War Mythic of Kalika, as well as doing a key opening for going over a bunch of teams, as well as his first impressions of the Mythic. So, as per usual, it is in the Glory Gem Guild and VIP chest for this week only, and then it'll be in the drop table with everything else. However, there is one interesting caveat to this. And that is, it is indeed in the event key drop table for the next 3 days. It is currently a Nexus event right now, today, Saturday, and Sunday. So for those 3 days, not the entire week duration, but for those specific 3 days, she is actually in the event key drop table. And we're going to go and actually get her from the event key drop table, which I think is the first mythic I've ever bothered targeting specifically off of event keys, because normally you have to do it off of Glory Gem Guild and VIP chest. But since we have so many more of those, yeah, we might as well use those. I believe they have a slightly higher chance too. Yeah, they have a 0.11 instead of a 0.1. Not much of a difference, but hey, slightly better technically. Though relative to gem value, gem keys are still better. Though VIP keys are even better than that if you happen to have it. But since we have so many more, we might as well use them. Anyways, as far as the troop. So, this is a pretty average mythic. The main value in this mythic is that she is from Nexus. This is the first and only mythic currently for Nexus. This is relevant because next week, or actually 2 weeks from now, the next Nexus event, which is the last week of the actual campaign pass, or the Kingdom Pass, I should say, during that duration, she'll be available again in event keys and everything. However, that week, will be possible to reach 10 stars. So it will be requiring her to end up having her in order to get that 10 star for the kingdom, which ends up giving an additional stat of, I actually forget. Let's see, it gives an additional armor, which is pretty good for away teams, and of course is for not dying. But yeah, to be able to get 10 star, it will be required to own a copy of her. So definitely the main priority of actually owning her is for that purpose. As far as her actual usefulness, she's kind of underwhelming. A little bit at average, maybe a little bit above average as far as mythics are concerned. It's very similar to like a Mambasera or a Tina 9000. She deals a bunch of damage to 4 random enemies, and then it's boosted by elemental stars. She ends up doing this at a 6 times boost ratio, so if there's something like 5 elemental stars onto the board, that will be 30 additional damage per hit, for a total additional damage of 120, which is pretty sizable. The only issue is it is kind of hard to get a lot of elemental stars onto the board at once, because they're very similar to Wildcard, in that once you start getting a lot of them, they're pretty much just all going to group together, and you know, it just makes it hard to accumulate them. So you're generally going to have a relatively small amount of elemental stars, especially when you don't naturally have them falling from the sky anymore. Though there's a storm for that we can end up doing, which we will be doing with one of the teams. She also has a unique final trait that will help her with this as well, a 50% chance to create an elemental star at the start of her turn. Unfortunately, this is not a guarantee chance, so this will be a little bit unfortunate, because if it doesn't trigger multiple times in a row, that's obviously not going to help much. However, this could actually justify potentially using 2 of her in a team. I would not advise going out of your way to do that, but if you happen to get another copy after you've already gotten one, it wouldn't necessarily hurt to attempt trying 2 on a team, as if she does ever get lucky and hits both the 250% on a given turn, 2 elemental stars, while not even ending your turn, can be pretty decent, since it's basically just an auto extra turn into 2 stars, and if you have 2 of them on your team, you're probably doing at least 1 every single turn, most likely, though of course it's still possible that you will also roll 0, but anyways, because it does stack, if you have like 2 or 3 or 4, obviously you generally wouldn't ever really run more than 1 of her, if even running 1, and at a maximum probably 2. Anyways, let's go get 1. So, as I mentioned, she is in the event key drop table. This is very weird for a mythic, but she is indeed in here. Hopefully it doesn't take too many to end up finding her. Unfortunately, a lot of the other drops that we're getting are kind of useless, in the sense that, you know, we already have all these maxed. This is pretty much like the entirety of the drop table right now as far as what's available, with the main exception being the mythic itself, which we should be able to see any moment now. Of course, it still can take roughly 1,000 or so. So, and it's only doable this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday if you're specifically going to be going and doing it with event keys. It is indeed in here. It is indeed somewheres in here. We just need to get lucky enough to actually find it. I'm doing them 50 at a time as well, just so we don't end up overeating on them. And there she is. But yep, she is indeed in the event key drop table. Only Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So today, tomorrow, and Sunday. But yeah, there she is. Okay, well, let's go and put her into the teams. Go get her upgraded and see what she can do. So first things first, we'll go to upgradable and get her maxed out. We'll do it quickly. Let's do the we'll do the thing here and then use the little bit of green. Let's use a major green. I'm pretty sure we're sitting on like 100 something. We keep getting one like almost every single week. Let's make sure not to accidentally use an orb power which I don't even understand why they have it here, since you're normally just crafting them in like Zoogoths and other similar things in Rage Carandera. But anyways, that saves us a little bit of souls. And let's go put her into the teams themselves. Oh, it would help if I actually had her selected still. Whoops. Let's see, Callie should end up bringing her up. There we go. And then we'll just go replace out all the placeholders and see what she can do. So let's go bring her straight over to the PvP and go mess with it with 3 different teams. So let's start from the top. Of course, all of these teams will be in the description below if you want to go and use any of them. And we'll be messing around with it on stream as well this weekend, see kind of what she can do. Probably not too much, though, because she does seem to... Well, we don't really know yet, but based on her ability, she seems a bit on the more underwhelming side. Like, she's not going to be like one of those super auto-win kind of mythics, but she could definitely get a job done, if nothing else. She has... she's going to play a very similar role to Tina 9000, I would say. It's a spell reduction troop. It doesn't have the same 50% that it has, but still 25% is better than nothing, while also still having a pretty similar high damage output. And overall better than Mambasero, which is more similar to her. It's less hits, but they hit a lot harder with the physical damage. So right now we currently have 0 elemental stars on the board, which is kind of unfortunate. We do have a team that we're going to be using somewhat soon that does have a storm for that. That will hopefully end up fixing that issue slightly. Are we frozen on green? We are. That is somewhat unfortunate. She auto-ends her turn when she does her turn, so I'm actually just going to cast her now, unfortunately for no boost ratio. However, that is still 4 hits. And of course, they do hit completely randomly, as it mentions. So we'll go for a little bit of poke there. Also, this is the scroll-oriented team, which we're mostly just killing off of Wild Queen, probably more so than the Mythic itself. We are frozen in a very weird way that makes it kind of hard to do things. However, we do have 8 elemental star on the board, which means we will now do 71 damage per poke instead of the normal 65 that we would have here otherwise. So there we go. And that's almost enough to kill it out. And then we just need any poke on it, and that'll be a match. And apparently we got one. Oh, that was actually off the elemental star. I thought that was the AI's turn for a second there. But right there, we didn't even take our turn yet. That was from the single elemental star that spawned. Ended up triggering, it did its little extra destroy, and yeah, that's actually pretty good value. Before we even took our turn, we killed out the enemy, and got a skull, got a little bit of mana accumulation. So when that hits, it's pretty nice. The problem is getting it consistent enough to actually hit. Like, the chance of that happening off a single spawn, not only is it not spawning every single turn, but you also need it to actually land somewhere that will do something like that. But interesting, because you basically get a free X destroy on the board whenever it does land. It's not even counting the mana, which of course you also end up accumulating. But that's the skull build. Next up we have the star build. Main gimmick with this is the Nexus Portal. Its final trait conjures an Elemental Storm when matching for an extra turn. Elemental Storm makes Elemental Stars fall onto the board more frequently. It also has an ability that's basically just puts a bunch of Elemental Stars on the board. So with this team, we're trying a lot harder to try to get a boost ratio off of Elemental Stars in order to utilize the additional damage. And apparently we found one of the crowns for today. Also, if you've been taking all the crowns every single day, they should be finished this Tuesday, as far as accumulating all of them. Also, we might actually lose to it. That'd be kind of sad. Let's see. We'll take that over. Oh, we're frozen! Oh, no! I didn't see the frozen on the thing. Okay, we need these elemental stars to be really good. Good. I assume we got extra turns somewhere in all that madness. So we have 2 elemental stars on the board. Unfortunately, though, I got to give that to him. I could always Flask. Let me Flask and see if we can get out of this. Okay, Flask kind of helped us there. Good job, Flask. Flask is insane. Oh, but now I don't have any elemental stars on the board. Oh, well, I have to cast my ability. We only have 1 damage source, and it is her, so we do need to be casting her. Unfortunately, I was hoping she'd be able to get a little bit more elemental star value here, though the kind of disabled beyond belief at this point, which is a little unfortunate. Also, if she ever gets webbed, that's going to be quite a bit of a reduction to what she can also end up doing, because her only damage would basically just be her boost ratio, because she only has a base value of 4. So she would be hitting 4 times for 4, plus whatever the boost ratio off of elemental stars would be at a given time. So I'm actually going to go for Flask here in hopes that it does something useful, and it doesn't. We're going to go for stars in hopes that makes up for it, and it did. Good. So we have 2 elemental stars on the board, so we'll go use them for boost ratio right now, and that should be enough to kill if it goes correctly. Almost. Not quite. We'll just cast one more time, and it should be matched up. We're not currently frozen, so I actually can go for those extra turns. And it looks like we're just going to kill it off a skull then, and we still had our ability back up. So you can kind of do it with that and have the storm going with it. Not sure if that's really as viable, though. But it is a mechanic that you could end up utilizing, and that's currently the only thing that has the capability of consistently creating a storm that creates the stars that she needs. So it's going to be a pretty good combo. It doesn't have any mana conflict with each other, so she might get used in some kind of teams with like kind of centered around that. But overall, The first team definitely seemed a bit stronger. So next we have the cheapest possible team. This one is super ridiculously cheap. Mang you get for free just from leveling up your hero class at around like level 200. I think it's like 33 brown red, somewhere around there, maybe 23. Shay Li you end up getting for free from just completing out the Nexus Kingdom. So or just opening some event keys like we just were during that. But if you just do the Kingdom, you would already have a copy of her. So super easy to get. And of course the Mythic's the Mythic, has to be on the team since we're showing a team around it. And Leprechaun just ultra rare that you get off a random drop table. So we're going to roll with this. Obviously our main goal here is to try to get a nice little single poke off of her single star. Obviously opening with Leprechaun as a Leprechaun tends to do. And go from there. And Mang's kind of just there to hold down the line. We are using Elementals here class. All three of these used Elementals. Obviously not required, but Elemental is very strong right now. And of course she is an Elemental herself, which ends up synergizing with that. Unfortunately, he did get a kill there. However, worst comes to worst, we could just solo the entire team with Mang. Actually, that's not true because he has a Zugoth. That's kind of concerning. The cheap team might lose, which kind of makes sense. It is the cheapest of the teams, though kind of unfortunate. I'm going to take an Elemental Star here and hope we get enough value. We did not get enough value. Oh, I just realized why we're losing. We're against the Centurion. Oh, this is over. I did not notice that. Whoops. Little bit too meta for the cheaper team. Also, that's a little bit too weak for the cheaper team. Can I get a real team? That's a little bit too real. Can we get something in between? Something... Yeah, there we go. Oh, yeah, another Calica team. So, that's kind of like what we were running before. Actually, didn't we run that exact team? Isn't that what I ran? That's kind of funny. No, I did it with, well, that's kind of what I ran. But I ran Leprechaun instead of Mirage Queen, and I ran Flask instead of Ocean Tome. But there we go. There's another variant of it. Of course, you can substitute for whatever you have. Like, obviously, if you don't have Flask, you can run Tome. Anyways, let's go fight this. So we're kind of just fighting the team we just used the previous battle. So let's see if we can actually win with a cheaper team then. We do have the opening move, obviously. So shouldn't make it doable. Don't have a Cascade there. I think we just throw Mang and then go for a nice little Leprechaun. He's going to Skull Poke us, but we have Barrier, so it's not really going to matter. We're going to do this on the hero, so we can just kill it out then. Yeah. Oh, the Brown spawn. That is one thing we do have per turn. We have a 100% chance of spawning a Brown off of her. Of course, we still have the Elemental Star at 50% chance. But that Brown could also be useful, as it just was there. So it looks like we're going to get a Mombasera here. If I could ever stop taking extra turns. Unless there's a Skull, in which case I think it is slightly better value to take the Skull. One of the reasons why these Skull teams are actually working pretty well, and even better than like this this one that we did for the middle one and the one that he's using. The main benefit of the Skull team is it thins out the opposing team, so it has less things to target, meaning that the damage is more concentrated as to what it is targeting. Unfortunately, it's not like a Tina 9000, where if you land like 2 single pokes on an enemy, they're generally going to die. Even if you get 3, sometimes they're still not going to die with how much damage she does, which is kind of unfortunate, because it makes it substantially worse than something like Tina 9000. As far as all these things that have like a multi-hit mythic, Tina 9000 still seems like the best between all of them in the current state of the game. So we do have the access to using Elemental Star here. I'm pretty sure somewheres on this board there is an option, and there is right over there. We do have to take the Elemental Star itself, lowering our boost ratio. However, that's almost enough to kill, so we're going to go for it. And now he's poking with anything. Even Mang kills at this point. Oh, we got a little bit of value off an Elemental Star, or the Brown Spawn, not sure which. Something happens. So we'll go to that, get a little bit of mana there. Don't really need it, though. I'm trying to end it with her ability. I don't think we can, though. Let's see. That'd be funny if I actually get an explosion kill here. Good, we do get to kill her with her ability then. And there we go. Not like it really matters. We had so many ways to win at that point. But that's the cheapest possible team that you could pretty much build out of it. A lot of very cheap options in there. The only thing not being cheap, of course, being the Mythic itself. But anyways, guys, that's the new Mythic. Overall, pretty average. However, the reason for getting the Mythic is not to use it necessarily. It's more so for the purpose of actually having a Nexus Mythic. As it currently stands, it is the only Nexus Mythic and probably will be for quite some time. So, of course, it is, as per usual, Glory Gem Guild and VIP Chest drop table. However, as we've shown, this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it is in the event key drop table. So you can end up doing that for the next 3 days. Also, if you still want to use event keys for it, but you don't happen to get it this weekend, you can also use event keys for it in 2 weeks from now. We have another Nexus event at the end of the Kingdom Pass. During that final week in 2 weeks. It will be another Nexus event. That will probably be the last Nexus event for quite some time. However, you would also be able to, on that week, be able to go use event keys. And in that case, it will be the entire week, unlike right now where it's just the 3 days for event keys. But as far as Glory Gem Guild and VIP keys, you can get it for the entire week now. So that's kind of confusing. But so if you want an event key for it, today, tomorrow, and Sunday. And then the entirety of the next Nexus event that ends up rolling around. And if you want to do it through Glory Gem, Guild, or VIP chest, you have until next week's Friday. So basically until the end of Thursday, all the way until Friday reset of next week. You know, like any standard Mythic does at the beginning of a month. But anyways, guys, I'll wrap it up for now. If you still have any other questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Definitely feel free to leave a like on the video. Helps a lot and is greatly appreciated, especially since YouTube now hides all the dislikes. So I do need to start asking for them. It really helps out a lot with the YouTube algorithm and is greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. And if you have any other questions, feel free to leave it below. As per usual, all of the teams are in the comment section below, as well as in the description. And I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye, everyone, and have a wonderful weekend. Best of luck with hunting for the Mythic.